Hello, everybody. This is Thursday night. It's a Thursday, and that means it must be time for the SNEWS, SnarkAlec News. Last week was a special edition. We only talked about Snark Stock, and that was worthy of having its own show. So this week, Dylan and Dylan is here. Everybody say hi to Dylan.
Hi, how's it going? Yay, beer. No, it's our last one, and Dawn's actually at work today because today was the last day of school for the kids, and our after-school care closed at 3 o'clock. So Dawn had to leave early to get them, and then she's off with them tomorrow. So she had to go back in today to do some last-minute work to get caught up. And I'm hoping she doesn't want this one because it's the only one we have left. I felt like I want a beer.
Yeah. So tomorrow is actually the last day of school for us up here. My oldest is going to graduate high school, so congratulations,
Yay.
Brianna.
Congratulations, Brianna.
And the younger one actually stepped up or graduated from 8th grade yesterday. But they both have to go in tomorrow for bullshit. And then that's it. Then I guess the summer officially starts.
Oh yeah.
So we did the news last week. So we're not really going to talk about birthdays, but I know someone's birthday is coming up. But I'm a little bit confused about what day it is. Is it the 26th or is it the 20th?
It's the 20th. Yeah, it's my 42nd birthday is on Saturday. So
wow, 42. You're a baby.
I am, baby. That's what everybody says to me. But I'm starting to feel old. And I tell people out there, like, you're not old. You're only 42.
You're young enough to be my younger brother.
Nice. But yeah, I actually told all the people at work, we do a thing where when it's your birthday, you get a cake and they sing happy birthday to you and get a card and stuff like that. We do it for everybody. Since my birthday's on a Saturday, we're going to do it tomorrow. So I told everybody before I left, all the people that work for me, I was like, presents are mandatory. Don't have presents. You're going to be in a lot of trouble. So hopefully I'll have a lot of loot.
Loot. Well, you should have specified what kind of present you wanted there, Dill, because, at least get those jokers. Hey, he said he wanted a present, huh? I've got one for him. Just scrape it up off the dog walk here in the bar.
There you go, splat. Yep, so it's the big day. So the greatest day in history is June 20th.
And unfortunately, I was trying to, you see, I swung. No. And here goes a problem. We're going to have a problem coming up because I think there's going to be some scheduling conflicts coming up here. But I got them to not put Wayward Pines on tonight so we could have a snooze and not miss out on another Wayward Pines episode. But then I find out, Dill, you watch the first episode and you're behind.
I am behind. Story of my life. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's just I get home and I'm like, I don't want to fucking do anything. So I'm just going to sit down and just look at my damn phone, I guess.
I am getting to that point only because Dylan knows a little bit about my schedule, but my daughter, my younger one, danced 4 nights a week. So this was her last week of dance, the recitals next weekend. And so I am done with the running around after I get home, taking her to dance, picking her up, doing this, doing that. So that part is done. So I am enjoying tonight, and I'm going to enjoy like the next few weeks because I will be able to get home and sit back and relax. And here goes the thing. I'm not really watching a lot of shows. Wayward Pines I'm watching. Conflict we'll talk about. Defiance is starting Saturday. It started last Friday. It's tomorrow rather. There's a couple of other shows like Dark Matters, and then there's another new coming on Sci-Fi tomorrow also, the one with the
Killjoys. You know what? That's not I'm not interested in that one. I think what's basically going to happen is, since Defiance is on 8 o'clock and Dawn writes the review for Paranormal Pop Culture, I DVR just so she can refer back to it if she needs to. And plus 8 o'clock is our kids' bedtime. So we're going to still try to work out what we're going to do, but I figured out what I was going to do is that we'll DVR Defiance at 8 o'clock, and then when 9 o'clock rolls around, we'll watch Defiance, and then when 10 o'clock hits, I'll watch Dark Matter, because I watched that last week also, and Dawn will go and type up her review because she hasn't watched Dark Matter. So
yeah, so I'm willing to give Killjoys. Unfortunately for me, tomorrow is Brianna's graduation, so I'm going to have to DVR everything for Friday night because we're going out afterwards. And I don't know how that's going to end up. But so I'm definitely watching Defiance. Dark Matter, to tell you the truth, I have to rewatch the first episode because it put me to sleep.
Yeah, it's not as spectacular as I thought it was going to be. I'm going to give it a little bit more a chance. But to me, it was just sort of like, it's all right.
Yeah.
But you know what the funny thing is? I was the same way when Defiance first came out. The first season, first couple episodes, I was like, okay, it's all right. And then they just skyrocketed and turned to a great show.
So then Game of Thrones is done. I'm still watching Penny Dreadful. There's a show on Saturday nights that I'm DVRing called I can't remember. Something Strange and Mr. Norrell.
Okay, yeah, it's on BBC, right? Yeah,
yeah, BBC. It's on when Orphan Black used to be on that time slot, the 9 o'clock, I think, or it might be on at 10. I don't know. But I read the book, and the book was awesome. And then I saw a couple of previews for that, and it looked like it was well done. So that I may end up waiting for that to finish and then just do a binge on that. But hey, I recommend the book. Anybody who may see it, the book was really good, and that I think it got some pretty good reviews anyway. But I liked it, so I want.
And then July we've got Face Off's coming back and The Strain's coming back. So
The Strain's coming back, but next week Under the Dome is coming back too. Now, here is my stance on Under the Dome. I hate the fucking show. Okay, I'm not going to pull any punches. I really despise the show. I saw some previews, I think this morning, maybe this morning or maybe this evening, where actually the dome looks like it's going to come down and they're all going to get out. Okay, then the show's over. I hope it happens in the first freaking episode. Because if there's no more dome, then you're not under the dome anymore. And then therefore there is no reason for a freaking show. Okay. It should have only been one season. You could have stretched it out for 2. But you want to know something? I mean, last season, the only reason I watched it was because I was vicious on Twitter when it came to that show. Okay. And I just hate it so much at this point. I want everybody to die or at least get horribly disfigured, in that show. Because I'm just done with it. I'm just done. The story, even when you change the story, there was so many bullshit episodes that they just threw in, that really did nothing to move the story along. And it's just horrible. But, there's cute little boys in the show and all the cute little girls are watching the show. So I don't understand.
What I think they should have done is the main reason why, and you know why, Tony, is because the ratings are huge for the show. So CBS is not stupid. Yeah. They're like, okay, we're going to put this on here. We're going to get some big ratings. What they should have done is Stephen King has a huge bibliography out there. And there are a lot of movies that still haven't been, produced for TV or movies or whatever. So what you should have done is you should, as you said, maybe stretched out Under the Dome maybe for 2 seasons. and then you end it, and then you grab another one of his books and do an adaptation of that and hope that maybe it'll be as successful. I mean, you know, you can bring everybody, you can basically do an American Horror Story if you want, bring all the actors back, the same creative team like that, if it fits the mold of the story, and just have them play different characters. And then you've got another show without having to do this expansion.
You want to know something, Dill? I'm
Sure.
going to agree with you 100% because one of the books that they did on TV twice, and I think the first time they did a pretty good job was The Stand. Okay, but The Stand, the problem with the way they did that was they really tamed it down a lot. Okay, and they could have gone a lot darker because it is a very dark and creepy story. That if they were going to do something along those lines and throw it in like the 10 o'clock hour. Now I know it might be late, but it's in, if you're going to do like a summer show, the way Under the Dome was, you could get away with that. And you wouldn't have to stretch because The Stand wasn't friggin' an encyclopedia. It was, I mean, I read the book twice. It was great. That one they could probably get away with. He's got a couple other books. I mean, they could do something along the lines of, you know, Stephen King's also got a couple of smaller, I don't want to say novellas, but he's got compilation books where it's a whole bunch of his short stories. You know, you can pick up one of those and you can do a short story a week, you know, with the ensemble cast. So
I think I'm sorry, what they tried to do, I think at one time, maybe on TNT, I think they did a pilot once where they did like maybe 4 of his short stories and adapted them. You could do something similar like that with, yes, as you said, the cast, right?
Right. Well, I mean, that was your idea, American Horror Story. So I'm not gonna steal your thunder.
But what you meant, though, I mean, I know what you meant. But another one I think I would love to do is I never saw the film version of it, but I love the book, and it was Needful Things, and that would be a good one to you know, to make it to, maybe you could probably expand it to maybe a TV series for a season or two. As I said, do it for a season or two, and then hey, throw another one in there, you know. And then if you start getting near the end, you know, there's, you know, you can end it. I mean, just most shows only go at most maybe 10 seasons at that, you know, and that's basically if you do maybe 2 seasons a year, it's only 5 books or whatever you decide to do. So, and he's got a ton of them. Yeah,
I mean, and I'm not going to take anything away from Stephen King. There's a lot of controversy around Under the Dome. When they initially announced the second season, you know, even with Under the Dome, when that book came out, there was a lot of his fans that hated the ending of the book, you know. So he published a letter to his fans on his website, and he explained how, hey, they're 2 different things, you know. And the show is definitely, he said in this open letter, was going to have a different ending. Okay. So, but it is so far away from the original story. It's just, you know, if it was interesting, it would have been good. One of the best summer shows, I think, that ever came out, and I think it might be on Netflix. There's probably several ways you could see it. Is a show called Harper's Island.
Okay. I had heard about that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I think I've spoken to this before on SnarkAlec Radio, and I think it may have been like 2002 or 2003 when that summer when that thing came out. And I believe it was a CBS show, and it was on after 10, and it was basically about a whole bunch of people coming to this island where they grew up, coming back to this island. Where 2 of the characters were getting married, and everybody's getting killed, and they got as vicious and as nasty as you can get on regular TV. Okay, but they had the show on after 10. It was really well done, and it was one and done. You know, like it was the way Wayward Pines is playing out. You know, it's only 10 episodes. Halfway through 5, they had the big reveal. I'm not going to say what the big reveal is, and we're not going to talk about it because Dylan ain't watching.
I know what the big reveal is anyway, so.
Okay. Well, but you see, the thing is, Mr. Shamalama Ding Dong was on the local Philly radio show here, and they had him on for about an hour, and I had a chance to listen to the whole thing. And the two jocks really couldn't wrap their head around the idea that there was going to be a big reveal halfway. And if there's a big reveal, how do you keep the show going? And he says, oh, just because we're going to reveal what's going on doesn't mean that's the entire story. I mean, there are a lot of questions that need to be answered still, and there needs to be some kind of resolution to what's going on. But it is brilliant. And, you know, you have to, it's one of those shows where maybe you check your scientific hat at the door before you get into it, because I have one little problem with what's going on in the show. It's a little major problem, but we'll see how they answer that question, because it's a big question that they have to answer.
And well, here's hoping that, you know, if they have the 10 episodes and they're hoping for like a beginning, middle, and end, that everything can get answered, you know, and if they want to add some little things hanging out in the air at the end to possibly entice it, because there was a trilogy of books, so, you know, they could probably do another season if they wanted to. But you can hit, you know, all your, you know, things, and then answer all your questions, and then throw some other ones out there. It's like, okay, and then that's like what you need to do. Then you go to the second season, you answer the questions that are lingering from the first season, and then you introduce more questions, you know, and just keep that. And then finally, when you get to your final season or whatever, you answer everything and done and over with.
Well, what he said in the radio show was basically, this is going to be a self-contained story. Now, would they be able to do a second season? And would he want to do a second season? And he said, yes, they could probably do a second season. He would like to do a second season if he was approached, because it was a different experience for him making this. And he enjoyed working with the people he was working with. But he promised the listening audience that this wasn't going to be like a Sopranos ending. Okay. When the last episode played, the story was pretty much going to maybe not be over, but it would be complete. There would be a complete story there. Could they have a second season? Yes. But if they did not, everything would be there, which is a great way of planning it out. And at one point, you know, they were talking about when they were sitting down and they were mapping out the episodes. Originally, it was going to be like a full 16 episode thing. And then he realized that they were doing stuff like what Under the Dome did, just to stretch it out and play it out. And as far as he's concerned, there needs to be a certain pace to the story. So they cut it down from 16 to 12, and then they went from 12 to 10, and said, you know, this is what we need to do, and this is how we're going to do it. And at a certain point, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, no, that's, and we talked about this before too. That's why these sci-fi shows do really well also, because you've got yourself 13 set episodes. You see all 13 of them in a row. It tells a basic story, beginning, middle, and end, but leaves enough open and enough questions and stuff like that, that you're intrigued about maybe possibly going to another season. Like I absolutely love what they're doing with Defiance. I mean, the time jumps at the end of every season, beginning of every season, is basically making it almost like a fresh new show. And I think that actually helps a lot, because then you don't have to deal with all that extraneous stuff in there as well. So you get one story. This is the story we want to tell in season 1. We introduce the characters of Defiance, we give them a problem, and then we have them come together to solve it. And then we leave something open for a possibility for a second season. Okay, we got the second season. Okay, let's go back to what we were talking about at the end of the first season. Let's map that out a little bit more, and then hit some more arcs, but make it accessible for people who might not have seen the show before, as if it's something brand new for them, and then tell that story, and then boom, you time jump again, and you're basically starting all over again. Because I loved these first 2 episodes of Defiance. I love them, because I just like the fact that to me the second season was it was great, it was good, but it was a little dry. There were some good parts in it. Stama's story arc was fantastic, but the Earth Republic stuff was interesting, but it kind of grated on me a little bit. But now the fact that with one sentence from the mayor is just like, yeah, they left. It's like, okay, well then we're not going to worry about them anymore. Let's go with the story we're telling right now. So I like that.
Well, I'm going to agree with you. I think the Datac Stama storyline, and I think Datac's entire storyline last season, from start to finish, from, I mean, the question is, who did not give Datac a hand job? I know I did not. Okay.
I didn't either.
Okay, so there goes 2 people in the world that we know that did not give a handy to Datac. But there's no McCauley's left, dude.
Like, I know.
And I could not wrap my head around Stama killing her daughter-in-law. I could not wrap my head around that. And I think Sarah Connor is more of a psycho than Datac and freaking Stama combined. Okay.
That was just, I'm sorry. It was such an awful but great scene where she sees the people in the camper. She goes to the door. She's like, "Oh, I need help. I need help. Can I come in?" "Yeah, come on in. It's great." And she's supposed to go, and they go in the house, and she goes, says, she must see something, like, "Excuse me a second." She opens the door, grabs the gun, and then kills them both. It's like,
yeah.
Okay.
No, that was pretty funny, because, okay, so my older daughter likes to watch Defiance, and as soon as she went in to the little hovel with them, I was like, she's gonna kill him, and Bree's like, nah, and then all of a sudden, door opens up, and I thought we were gonna, like the gun was gonna come in, and we were just gonna see the windows flash, but we just heard the bang, like we didn't even get to see a flash in the windows. I was like, told you, she's crazy. But yeah, I mean. I was stunned that Rafe got killed. I thought maybe he might get injured or whatever. But then when Stama had to kill Christy, I was like, wow, that's pretty nasty.
It is nasty, but at the same time, I mean, she said she was ready to go, and I think that Stama plays a long con, as it were. I guarantee you, she's going to do something to was it Ramar Damar, the bad guy played by Lee Turgison in this one, Damar Tark or something like that.
Yeah.
The big bad in this one. She's just biding her time, and she's gonna do something terribly awful to him by the end of the season. And I just can see it, just the way that her and Datac are starting to plan some stuff out. I think, though, with Christy saying she was ready to go, and she knew in the end that it was either Christy or Datac, where she could probably get away with getting her plan done if Datac was still alive. So, because we knew that if she wasn't going to kill Christy, if it ends up letting Datac get killed, then they're going to kill Christy anyway. And I think Stama knew that. So she just decided to end it. And she's She's pissed, and I love seeing how Daytak's character has changed so much since the first season, and I love that, and I love and I hate I hate it too. Rafe being gone, I hate that because he and Daytak were just starting to become this great bromance going on, and this great odd couple that was just fantastic, and now I'm not going to see it anymore, which pisses me off.
And I'm guessing we're not going to see Alec up in his arch either. But interesting because you know, I'm going to call her Sarah Connor.
That's what I was calling her on Twitter on last week.
I'm going to call her Sarah Connor until something else changes. Okay, Linda Hamilton, if you're watching, I know you're watching. Okay, I'm going to call you Sarah Connor until I don't know, something has to happen. Something has to happen with her. She's so crazy. But so anyway, we started off this conversation with I don't watch a lot of shows. There's maybe 3 shows I watch on Friday. Penny Dreadful and Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I probably am gonna on demand those shows. Tuesdays will be Face Off. I just heard from my buddy Scott McDonald that he cannot watch Under the Dome unless I'm tweeting it live because he can't watch it. So if they actually see, I think Under the Dome might be. I thought I saw it was on at 9, but if it's on at 8, it's okay. I can do both. But if it's on at 9 and Wayward Pines is on at 9, I may have to watch Under the Dome live, and then at 10 watch Wayward Pines, just so I can, because I think that's it, the pace is great. I think it's a good story. And that's about it. I'm not watching anything else. There's nothing else on that I'm watching religiously.
So you don't like you didn't like True Detective? I know it's coming back on Saturday.
I never watched the first episode, the first series. I know there's a lot of True Detective fans. I've never seen the show, and the problem with summer shows like The Strain is awesome because that's usually 10 o'clock on Sundays. So I'm usually home by then, no matter what I'm doing. And I'm looking forward to that because that is one of the top 5 TV shows on TV right now. I think it's well done. It's a good story. I like the characters and the actors. I put it up there. Okay, my favorite shows are The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones, and The Strain, in that order. And it's awesome that none of them are in conflict with the others. I do like Penny Dreadful. I do like Orphan Black. Orphan Black, they're starting to lose me a little bit because it's just way too much.
Emergency.
Yeah, emergency. I'll be right back.
Okay. So what I guess I can do is check out. You know what? What should we talk about? Oh, let's talk about what's going on with me. My other show, the SNEWS, we do once a month. We're doing twice because we had a Snark Stock last time. But my usual show, Dylan Knows, is going to be back on Sunday. I know we've had some weird scheduling here and there, but that's just unfortunately the way it goes sometimes, trying to fit everything in and everybody in there. So we will be on Sunday at 12:30. MJ Khan and I, who we were supposed to do our show first Sunday of the month, but he had an emergency to go to, so I just shifted to this Sunday. This Sunday would have been just my usual out of my head where I talk about whatever I feel like. So I want to take care of that. Now, it just is. We're talking about TV during the summer. Now, it's hard for me because right now I've got my summer is absolutely going to stink this year, work-wise. my company's uniform company, and the main company, one of our biggest accounts is the U.S. Naval Academy. So we outfit them in their military uniforms and stuff like that. Now, I-Day, which is the day when, I guess it's called, that means induction day, is when the plebes come in. They're going to be coming in, and they get measured for their pants and stuff like that. And we send people down there on I-Day when they're coming in. They get their head shaved, and they learn which platoons they're in and stuff like that. They also get they're measured for their pants, and they get marked on the pants, and then they all get thrown into these big ass laundry bins. And these laundry bins, about a week or so after I-Day, get sent to us. And I have one person, my sewer, she has to cut every one of these pants and hem everyone's. Well, actually, I got somebody who's gonna cut them, and then someone else has to hem them all. So we're talking close to 7,000 pairs of pants, and we have just 1 month to do it. And they're huge accounts, so that's what we got to do with that. So I've got that for the whole month of July, and then I go on my vacation first week of August, and then I just have this other event, this New York City Department of Education event, and I've got that for 2 weeks after I get back from vacation. It actually starts the day after I come back from vacation. So my summer is gonna suck. And so when I get home, I have the kids, play with the kids, deal with the kids, have dinner, get them, dressed and bathed and all that stuff. And then about 8:30, 9 o'clock, Dawn and I sort of collapse on the couch and we just sort of chill. And neither of us are really, anxious. Hey, let's get up and watch a show or whatever, and because we want to go to bed because we're tired. So we're old, that's all. So that's one of the reasons why I have everything DVR. I just haven't had a chance to just sit down, had some time to myself, and just say, you know what, I'm just going to binge this and just watch it, and eventually, hopefully, I'll be able to work that out. So, is everything all right, Tony?
Yeah, everything's okay. Well, maybe it's okay.
Okay.
So questions are. What about last ship in Extant? Extant, that ship sailed. If I happen to be home and it's on, I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it. The last ship, yeah, that's annoying me too. But if I'm home and they do the same thing where it's last ship and then the strain, I'm fine with that. But Extant, I'm not going to go out of my way to see it. And yes, Scotty, I'll do it for Five Head. I'll do it for Johnny. I'll watch Under the Dome live. And that's about it, except for so not on Dylan's birthday, which is Saturday, but next Saturday there are going to be 2 new movies on Sci-Fi. Actually, I think they're going to be doing almost a zombie day all day in 2 weeks. So they're going to have 28 Weeks Later, which is the sequel to 28 Days Later, which is a pretty good movie at 5. Then at 7, and there's no description for this movie, and I don't know if you've ever heard of The Dead, Dylan.
I think so, but I kind of refresh my memory on that.
Well, the reason I'm asking you if you've ever heard of The Dead is because at 7 o'clock on Sci-Fi on the 27th is going to be The Dead 2. So I'm guessing if there is a The Dead 2 in India, which is the whole name of the movie, there must have been The Dead or The Dead 1 or basically The Dead. Maybe there was The Dead 0. Should have been, because you're not going to get a 2. Godfather 2 came out after Godfather 1. So that's the logic I'm using. Jaws 2, Jaws 1, Jaws 3 came out after Jaws 2. So this is supposed to be a new movie on Sci-Fi, and I'll see. They had no information on it. They had a whole lot of information on 28 Weeks Later, and they have a whole lot of information on the movie that I'm about to mention, which is something called The Gallow Walkers.
From what you wrote, that description sounds awesome. So go ahead and read it.
Okay. So then I gotta get back over here.
Oh, I can read it.
So yeah. Go ahead, because I'm looking at this. The Dead 2.
I just like how this sounds. Gallo Walker is going to be on at 9 o'clock on Sci-Fi next Saturday, so that's probably going to be a good one for all of us to get back together and snark some a little bit. But the premise is a gunman enlists the help of a young warrior to fight zombies known as Gallo Walkers. So you get a gunman, a young warrior, and zombies. And they're named Gallo Walkers, which is actually just a great name. So hopefully it should be going. And who knows? I mean, when you hear gunman and young warrior, the first thing that drops in my head is it's going to be like a Western. You know, it's going to take place in the 1800s or something, especially with the name the Gallo Walkers, which I don't think anybody really calls anything the gallows anymore. But, you know, it sounds like something that could happen in the 1800s, you know?
It definitely sounds like it has a Victorian type theme to it. So I am about to tweet out a link to a trailer for The Dead 2. So again, we're talking about not Saturday the 20th, but the 27th. It looks like there's going to be a all zombie day on Sci-Fi, or at least an all zombie evening. So we want you to, you know, make sure that you hide your kids and hide your wife and come on down to Twitter. And it's a zombie sequel. The official. I'm trying to figure out what the name of the first movie is. In this ferocious sequel to the. Okay, there was a worldwide horror hit, The Dead. An infectious epidemic spreads through India as an American turbine engineer. Okay, wait. Have I seen this movie?
You might have.
Is this the movie where they end up at this big wall? Or was that The Dead?
I couldn't help you because I've never seen either of them. So,
well, so, and it was 2013, so that's 2 years ago.
But regardless, it's zombies, and we love our zombies. So, you know, and it's a quasi new. It's new. I mean, I've never seen it. I probably won't be able to see this in 7 o'clock. Is at that time again where kids and junk's going on.
It's got Joseph Milson, Minu Mishra, and Anand Krishna in it. So listen, any movie that Anand Krishna's in is a movie that I think
golden
that we all need to see.
Don't overlook Gallo Walkers, though. That sounds awesome. Hey, Bigfoot appearance. The Dead is the one in Laura Norman's The Dead is the one in Africa with the slow ass zombies.
Okay, so that's the one with the big wall. So this is The Dead too. So I have seen The Dead. I haven't seen this one. I hope not. But it's not the featured movie though. The featured movie is the 9 o'clock one, which is the Gallo Walkers. So hey, we love zombies and we love sci-fi, and so before we go ahead and maybe get into the time capsule and the cheese, what are you doing on July 9th, Mr. Dill?
Nothing that I'm aware of. Is that a Saturday?
No, it's a Thursday.
Thursday, July 9th. Are we doing the snooze?
Possibly. If you're not doing anything else that day.
As far as I know, I don't think I'm doing anything else that day. Yeah, there's nothing right off the top of my head.
Okay, so July 9th will be when we do the next news, and that's really important because we can talk about Shark Week and everything that I'm going to miss on Sci-Fi while I'm away. I'm still trying to get them to move that, but I don't think that's going to happen at all. So, anyway.
Keep on believing, Tony. Keep on believing.
Yeah.
So, time capsule of cheese.
Yeah, time capsule of cheese. What's this crap? Hey, it's a trailer, Myrna. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch the fucking movie, all right? I'm just saying. I put out a trailer for The Dead 2. Okay? If you think it's crap, don't watch it. God damn it. I can't make it. I didn't make the movie. I just tweeted out a freaking link. What's this crap? You don't want it? don't eat it.
Yeah. But Myrna, come on, you're going to want to watch Gala Walkers, man. Gala Walkers going to be awesome.
Come on, it's a sci-fi fucking movie. What do you expect? Academy Award winners. It's friggin' sci-fi.
Exactly.
Oh, okay, wait. Before we get into the cheese.
Sure.
So last night, I don't know if you saw any of the tweets between me and Heather. She tweeted at both of us about this movie called The Invasion of the Star People.
Yeah, and the credits were hilarious, you said, and then all of a sudden it just was crap.
Well, I never even looked at a trailer or anything, but Heather found it and she just tweeted out the name. So I said, and she said it was on YouTube, and I kind of didn't find it on YouTube. I was already looking at Netflix, and it was on Netflix. So I was like, okay, let me watch this movie. It's supposed to be a comedy. And usually when you watch comedy, it makes you laugh. So it's supposed to be a comedy, and it's supposed to make you laugh. There was I'm going to say a 4.5-minute opening scene with two of the main characters playing with a hose. And it was these two guys together were a cross between Laurel and Hardy and Abbott and Costello. And the movie was made in 1962. And neither one of these guys was, tall and thin or short and tubby or tall and tubby and thin. They were just two guys who
playing with the hose.
The whole, literally, even somebody that was stoned would not find this movie funny. Okay. There was one scene where this guy who's supposed to be the colonel, okay, and he's a wacky colonel, okay. Every time he turns around, he's picking up a different weapon until he finally picks up a hand grenade and pulls the pin out. And then he realizes he just pulled the pin on a grenade and has to throw it out a window, but he shoots the gun. It was just horrendous. Oh my God. Oh my God. And it looked like from the beginning, the opening credit, I was like, okay, this is going to be bad acting, bad sets. It's going to be like a Jerry Warren film. It's going to be, awesome. And it was, the production value on it was not bad. But it was just, not funny on any level. Not funny on any level. Not even like a 3-year-old could sit through this and laugh. And there was some parts of it that were very cartoonish. But again,
I saw a great movie idea. Abbott and Costello meet the zombies. Oh, that'd be awesome.
Well, they did the Wolfman, Frankenstein, and Dracula.
Yeah, they were the big ones back in their time, but do zombies now. Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Mike and Kelly meet the zombies.
Boy, I'm glad I didn't say that. Okay, so we're gonna talk about time capsule with cheese. A time capsule with cheese. So our topics guru came up with these topics, as topics gurus usually do. And it was up on the website, and it's actually still there. And the questions were: someone found your time capsule and they opened it. What was in it? Now, when you go to the website, whenever you see one of these little form things that you can fill out, you can do one, both, or none of it. The only thing that we ask you to do is to put your name in there. So we could say, hey, and this was submitted by you, and this was submitted by you. And again, so the first question was someone found your time capsule and they opened it. What was in it? So um, I was told by someone that we should actually write this down. And my response was no, there's no need, because I would just turn around to Dylan and say, hey, Dylan, if you had a time capsule and I opened it, what would I find in your time capsule, Dylan?
Oh, geez. Let me see. Probably some comics. Let me see. Action figures, pictures of family cats, SnarkAlec t-shirts, pictures of the SnarkAlecs, maybe some of my movies, some like my favorite movies that, 200 years in the future, people pull these out and say, whoa, what are these? And might bring people. So, now I'd have to think about it right off the top of my head. Those are the only things I can think of off the top of my head right now. Nothing, maybe, a favorite t-shirt or something. Well, I said SnarkAlec t-shirt, so I guess that'd be okay. What about you, Tony?
Oh, me? Okay, so if I'm thinking about it right now, you would probably find some SnarkAlec Radio like logos and things that I did for SnarkAlec Radio, some SNEWS stuff, almost definitely my iPod, probably an older one that I don't use anymore, but it has the same music as the one that I currently use. Maybe a Led Zeppelin t-shirt, a ticket stub from when I went to see Roger Waters do The Wall
Okay.
down in Philly, and a piece of chocolate cake. Entenmann's chocolate cake, chocolate with the chocolate fudge on top.
Yes.
And
Yummy.
depending on when you open that, it would be either nice and moist and juicy and tasty to eat, or it would be like a freaking brick.
Yeah, those time capsules, get them nice and solid. It might keep it fresh for a while. You never know.
So the next question on here was write 6 sentences that end with cheese, either the word cheese or a type of cheese. So I am not going to ask you, Dylan, to come up with 6 sentences off the top of your head, because I like cheese, but I am not going to scratch my head and try and think of cheese puns on the spot, because that's not my job. My job is to allow you people to write the show for me and Dylan. That's why we have you guys submit stuff, because then all Dylan and I have to do is sit back, do a little reading, and make fun of you people for submitting this stuff.
Because that's what we do.
That's what we do. That's what we do to TV shows. That's what we do to movies. And that's what we're going to do.
And that's what makes us awesome.
Yes. Well, we're getting there. We're getting to the awesomeness. So, I think without playing favorites, I think I'm going to read the first one.
Okay. Go ahead.
So, which means you get the second one, but you see, I have to do a little bit more reading.
Yes, you do.
From the beginning. So, if somebody found I got an idea. We can have a little game with this. So, I'll read what's in the time capsule, and you people that are watching, you can try and guess who wrote that. And I know there's a little bit of a delay, so we're only talking about time capsule stuff here. So I'm going to read it, and then I will read the cheese thing, and then we'll reveal who submitted it. So if you want to play along and guess, and yeah, this one should be pretty easy. If someone opened my time capsule, they would find an empty bottle of red wine. Ain't no way I'm wasting booze by burying it. Dark chocolate wrappers, again, waste. Jelly bean bag, ditto. Pics of the kids pics of I can't read this because it says
Redacted.
that, yeah. Pics of Harry Potter, not the books, Harry himself, Duran Duran's Decade album, and my tattered yellow bathrobe. Not my phone, because I'll be buried with that bad boy. Oh, and a Washington Redskins jersey. So now, if somebody would have read that, except for the one piece that I redacted, I would know who wrote that. Same person wrote 6 sentences with the word cheese or a type of cheese in it. Sweet dreams are made of cheese. Who am I to disagree? Been a contender. I gotta. I want a hippopotamus for a Swiss miss. You don't know Monterey Jack. The world needs more grilled cheesus. The world needs more grilled cheesus.
And we already got the one person guessing it. And are they correct, Tony?
I am not seeing that. I see you freaking cheese.
Okay. Laura Norman was the first one to come in. Laura Norman was the first one to come in with the correct response.
Yep. That is the correct response, because the one thing that I left out was pics of the kids and pics of Dylan and Harry Potter. And if I would have read the name Dylan, then if it wasn't Dawn who submitted that, then Dylan would have some splaining to do. He would have some splaining to do.
Yeah.
So you can take the next one.
The next one, they just did the cheese one. They didn't do the time capsule. So we just do the cheese one then for them?
Yep.
All right. Blah, 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 cheese. Damn, that one was Gouda. This sentence writing thing about cheese is bad axe. It might be better with some cashew nut cream cheese. No, just eat them. Well, you ought to see Big John's Cajun. That might be a little bit hard to figure out who that is.
Oh, there's more.
Is there more? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, there is. I'm sorry. Have you ever tried some fat bottom girls? Only on a foggy morning. My co-host is dry, Jack. Cry me some crocodile tears. Man, did you just cut the cheese? Don't read anymore. I'm barely buzzed. Well, I do have some cold packs. If you keep on, I'm going to need a Detroit street brick. Holy cow. There we go. Sorry about that.
Okay. And you can just give her credit, because credit is due.
Laura Norman. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, Laura Norman.
Okay. And this one might be a little bit harder, but so this is a twofer. I'm going to read the time capsule stuff and then the cheese thing, and see if you can guess who. All right, you get the next one, Dylan. You get number 5. That's awesome. See if you can guess who the submitter is. So someone found your time capsule and they opened it. What was in it? Well, this person said a paperback copy of the unauthorized biography of Sean Cassidy, an issue of Tiger Beat with the Bay City Rollers on the cover, my white plastic Panasonic loop radio that could twist into an S shape, an 8-track tape of Steve Martin's A Wild and Crazy Guy. I had that album on vinyl. Awesome. And a Maskatron action figure with 2 snap-on faces of Steve Austin and Oscar Goldman. And I guarantee nobody's going to guess who this is.
Nope.
And so 6 sentences that end with cheese. It seems a waste of crustacean to put lobster or crab in mac and cheese. My pal, the neurologist, not a cardiologist, uses duck fat in his recipe for mac and cheese. Speaking of recipes, to know what is so special about... Okay, is that some kind of French cheese, Dill?
Yes, Gruyere.
Gruyere, okay. When I moved to a Greek neighborhood, I was immensely intimidated by the local grocery that sold 8 types of feta. My kingdom for a slab of halloumi. Opa, I bet Promiacs love making Saganaki.
I have
Okay.
no idea what that is. Sorry. Got to be
And
Greek thing though. Yeah.
probably. Well, that was Shirley, Sesame Squirrel. And I'm just going to throw that out there because I'm sure nobody guessed that. And it probably Sesame wouldn't even guess that because this was submitted over a month ago. So, so that brings us to the next one.
Okay. This one is what if someone found your time capsule? What would be in it? Presumably, this means someone is going through my house after I've died. You'll probably find cash wadded up in weird places while you dredge the place because I'm really bad about losing money and often run into pleasant surprises myself. Socks are everywhere, as you can imagine. In spite of the chaotic first glance, you'll quickly notice I fastidiously keep everything in proper piles, and the bathrooms, closets, and most of the floors are remarkably tidy because I'm freaky about dank odors and bugs. The most important thing you'll find is a cranky laptop that will do everything in its power to thwart your attempts to boot up. Ignore that. And whatever you do, do not update Adobe and Java. Well, if you see the blue screen of death start dumping files, hit the kill switch and start over with Start Windows normally. This laptop is a portal to parallel universes where all kinds of cool things happen. Most of them secretly, and if you have the good fortune to help excavate my house after I die, don't be stupid and overwrite or recycle this laptop. It's a gold mine that could sell to a highest bidder if you know the right circles, or you could hoard it and dig through the secrets yourself. I guess, you could ignore house and put time capsule in its place because you could probably fit all that into a pretty big time capsule unless the house was the time capsule. So there's that one. And now the 6 sentences that end with cheese. Running off to get some cheese. Early morning coffee pairs awesomely well with shredded Colby Jack. Super early, very chilly morning out in the beautiful rugged boonies on the day of a funeral after a very long night is most fondly cherished with a farm breakfast of homemade cinnamon oatmeal followed by seriously sharp cheddar. There's no such thing as nachos with too much cheese. Nearly every dish in the world can be perked up with Parmesan. It's nearly impossible to go wrong with cream cheese. And once again, Laura Norman, who can play this game like no other, has got it correctly. It's Pinky Guerrera.
Yep, and I think the Sox gave that one away. The Sox had to give that one away.
Absolutely.
Well done, Laura. You're winning the internet tonight, Laura. Just saying. All right, so I get the next one, which is awesome. And this one, again, I don't think anybody's going to guess this one, but I could be wrong. So this person, if they had a time capsule, it would be a very small time capsule because there wouldn't be a lot of things in it. There would be a sponge, a rubber duck, and an orange. And I don't think there's any tells there. And as far as cheeses, so this person was definitely a double submitter. I want to spend more time thickly spreading Amish frolic or Amish frolic. When a donkey runs away, do you proclaim Asiago?
Asiago.
The mafia's favorite cut up snack must be Don Carlo. Okay. I would never say that working overtime is Gouda. While working for a dairy farmer, I once slipped on some manure.
I guess manure.
Manure. This might not be very funny, but it is shanklish.
I guess that's cheese. I guess all these are cheeses.
I would say yes. I mean, I've heard of Asiago cheese, and maybe Don Carlo, but
oh, Laura was wrong.
Oh
no,
man, Laura, what are you doing, Laura?
She thought it was Leo.
Oh, she thought it was Leo.
Yeah,
No.
Leo, man. Yeah.
No. Leo is. There's only one thing that Leo loses all the time, and everybody knows that. So,
and they're probably in his time capsule, probably.
Okay, so that means you get this one.
Real quick, that was
Oh, that was Barry Vencedor.
Yeah. So sorry, Myrna, it's not Pinky. We already did Pinky. If you were watching the show and listening, we already did Pinky.
Well, maybe she's just slow because she gets her because she gets Dawn after we were already on to the Pinky one, So
okay, this one. Actually, let's see. This is what would be in your time capsule. My SnarkAlec T-shirt, so people will know what the coolest shits we're wearing. Yeah, coolest shits. Okay, that's right. Coolest shits wearing. A copy of Zombie Apocalypse, so they can see what an ugly ass shirt looks like. Amen. A Twinkie, so they know what ooey gooey heaven tastes like. Instructions on how to work a phone, because Myrna still won't know how. A Twitter thread of SnarkAlec in a conversation or watching a sci-fi movie, so people will never lose their sense of humor. And they did not do the cheese. They did not cut the cheese. And that is also our friend and champion guesser, Laura Norman.
Okay. No, and so yeah. Is that Pinky the slip on manure yet? No, that was the Barry Vencedor. So I didn't even see that. For some reason, I'm a little bit behind.
That's okay. Okay. You get this. It worked out perfectly.
Okay, so this person says that their time capsule will have my little pillow, coffee, my big coffee mug, a picture of my kids, a plush cat, paintbrush, an old camera, Dirty Dancing, and a rock. So now what I need to understand here is there going to, like, how do you put Dirty Dancing in a time capsule? Is it a video? Because, like,
you couldn't really be Dirty Dancing in.
Well, you couldn't put dancing in a time capsule. Okay. And Dirty Dancing is just a way of describing it. Now, I happen to know that that's a movie, but so I'm guessing it would be a video. And the last thing in there would be a rock.
I guess you thought it was Charlie Brown's trick-or-treat bag.
That sounds like, you want to know something? That would be like a Halloween Horror Story. And then this lady, she kept on giving everybody a copy of Dirty Dancing. Oh my God. The lady around the corner was giving away cartoons.
She's like the wind, baby.
I don't want to watch a Patrick Swayze movie. So, and then I have the pleasure of also reading the cheese submissions for this person.
This is actually kind of funny, though.
Run, run, jump, jump. I'm going to catch a ball of cheese. The lactose intolerant man got stuck in the elevator after eating a pound of Swiss cheese. Okay. So it almost sounds like there's a cause and effect there, where because he was lactose intolerant and he ate Swiss cheese, that's why the elevator got stuck.
It sounds like a character from the X-Files.
Yeah.
The lactose intolerant man. Mulder, there's really UFOs. Oh, I gotta go to the bathroom.
I eat some cheese. Somebody slipped some Swiss into my sandwich.
It's a conspiracy.
My bowels are just exploding, Batman.
The lactose intolerant man. That could be a great band name also.
well, Robin, take some bat lactate.
Yeah.
How are you feeling right now? Because I'm feeling Gouda. With a Swiss, and actually that would have worked better, with a Swiss punch to the face. With a swift punch in the face, I said, don't touch. It's nacho cheese. Gasping and coughing after running so far, I could barely breathe. Leave me provolone. So
And
let's see.
Laura already got it. Laura
Laura,
got it after
okay.
the time capsule. It's our friend Myrna.
Okay. So yes, that
Oh,
was
look what I
Myrna.
got.
Okay, so you
Wonderful.
got the last one. You got the last one.
Pay careful attention. I think it was Laura who mentioned this. This is what would be in your time capsule. My back pills. I can't find them. Are they in here? Oof, my back hurts. And that's it.
That's it. And that.
Anyone really? Come on. 2 seconds, 5 seconds. Come on. Come on, Laura. You know this one. Let's go. My back pills. I'm losing everything. All right. Enough.
Okay.
It's our friend Leo McAllister.
That was Leo McAllister. Usually, Leo, I would have guessed his, maybe a hip replacement would have been in there and some spectacles also, because he's always losing his spectacles. And that's just Leo for you. But yeah, so that will put that to rest. The time capsule, which is interesting idea. For submissions, because you could always have a lot of fun with the time capsule.
Well, maybe next year's Snark Stock, we could do a snarky time capsule. Have everyone bring something. That'd be
yeah.
fun.
There was so let's clear something up. There was a lot of talk about possibly going to Baltimore, and it picked up a little bit of steam. And thanks to that pink-haired floozy, Mandy, she generously donated your house for people to stay in. And I will tell you that it seems like all of the elements for a snark stock are in Baltimore as far as activities, because it seems like the overwhelming thing is people want activities to do, good eating, someplace haunted, which would be one of the activities. But I myself, Dylan, am not gonna barge in and stay at your house. My only thing about doing something like this, and if it's going to be, because it's definitely has to be an overnight for most of us, would be that we try and figure out a way where nobody has to drive at all, and that way, if and I'm not saying we're going to get drunk, but you want to know something? I really stopped drinking, and I know some of the other people that were driving weren't really, not that I didn't have a good time, because I had a blast, but I mean, I wasn't able to sit back and really kick back and relax. Which doesn't mean that I'm going to get blitzkrieged when I go down to Baltimore. But, if you don't have to drive and you don't have that weight on your shoulder, it just makes it for less of a stressful situation.
Absolutely. I mean, and we have, as I said when we talked about it last week a little bit, the plan that I have is actually it was so funny. We got back at 2:00. Dawn and I got back at 2:00 in the morning from the Snark Stock a couple weeks ago, and I only could sleep 4 hours because my mind was just ticking of just ideas, because I was just, Mandy threw it out there, let's do Baltimore, and I just started thinking about that. Yeah, it would work out, and there are options we have. I mean, I still like the idea of meeting in Hunt Valley, but we could always change that up if we need to, because you can actually jump on the light rail anywhere and it takes you from BWI or the train station to Baltimore or out to Hunt Valley. Now, if we're not going to be staying at our house, which I know, which is not a big deal either or, we can center it in Baltimore. Maybe we can get a hotel or something, and maybe we can see how much like a bank of rooms would cost. You do that sometimes for weddings. I mean, it doesn't have to be like the Ritz or anything like that, but we could find a nice cheap hotel downtown somewhere.
Well, a Holiday Inn. I mean, a Holiday Inn, you might be able to get a Holiday Inn for around $99 for a night. A Hampton Inn might be a little bit more. It all depends on where it is and how close it is to some of the attractions and what's going on. You always pay a little bit more on the weekend than you do during the week. I know that. But if Baltimore works out, I've already got the next one planned. Colonial Williamsburg down in Virginia. The only thing about that place is that it's hard to get to for people that might want to fly in. But we can talk about that next year. One of the things that I want to throw out there is that when we were, yeah, good idea. Bring stuff for a time capsule and definitely a hotel. Shove foreign. Shove four of what and where? Okay, we're still not getting over plugging all our holes. Okay, so nobody's going to shove four of anything in me. I can tell you that right now. I don't even have that many holes. Well, my ears. Yeah. Okay, well maybe you could.
Maybe you could, but
we're not going there. Okay.
But you were saying you had.
Yeah.
You wanted to throw
well,
something out there?
when we were gonna do Columbus, okay, we didn't even look into like trying to find a haunted aspect. Basically, what Columbus was going to be was us taking over a hotel for the most part, and usually they have like big conference rooms. And we were going to try and look at getting that either catered or whatever. But the thing that we were going to do is have a big screen TV in there. And either if Sci-Fi had a movie, then we just all actually sit in one room and blow the internet out in Columbus and snark it from there. Or if there was nothing on Sci-Fi, to provide our own type of entertainment. We can't do something like that. I mean, when we have a place that has a wealth of activities and attractions that we can use, we wouldn't want to do something like that. But I'd like to do something like that on a smaller scale also. And that would have to be like Williamsburg would be more along the lines of something like that, because there's not much to do around there at night, unless you go to Busch Gardens, which is right down the road from Williamsburg. But I should actually, just put something up on the website and see how many, because our goal is to double the number of people that we had this time. The first time we had 8. We, if you use fuzzy math, we had 16 people, and that's counting Kelly. He was there in spirit. So we're looking to see if we can get 32. Now, Baltimore is just a tiny bit closer to some of our friends in the South. But if you have a year to plan for it, it makes it a little bit easier to do. Now, you can't make plane reservations, and you don't know how much planes are gonna cost. But you can get an idea by looking at what the rates are now. And one of the things I could throw out there is, hey, if it's cheaper for you to fly into Philly than it is to fly down into BWI, then let me know. And just as long as it's not like 50 people, I could pick up a couple of people. And from Philly to Baltimore, it's a 2-hour drive. It's not actually from the airport. It's a 2-hour drive because the airport is south of Philly. And that's not a bad drive. So I mean, I could definitely take a couple of people down with me, and then on the way back home, stop at the airport again and say, sayonara, see you later. If it's cheaper to do it that way, where they're not flying into BWI. If you can get a direct flight that's cheap, sometimes you get, it depends on the airlines, depends on where you live. But if you've got a year to plan for it,
I mean, and we can always, like you guys did for this one, have face to faces like this, and work some of the kinks out. Because I've got I was just throwing I was just in my proposal. I have just thrown all kinds of stuff at the wall to see what sticks. I mean, you know, the drinking aspect of it and not traveling. That was one of my ideas about the whole thing was, it is easier to just, if you come in via BWI or via the train station, just hop on the light rail and meet at one specific location. We can all meet up in one area. It's not better. Hunt Valley was my main idea because I'm still okay with, as I said, we still got time working about it, but we don't live that far from Hunt Valley, and it's a big area. It's got lots of parking, and it's got restaurants and places, things you can do while you're waiting for everybody to come in, and then maybe go to a quick breakfast or lunch or whatever, and then take the train back down to Baltimore, and then just walk, and then take the ferry over to Fells Point, or we take the ferry to Fort McHenry if you want to. There's a couple museums I like up there. There's a ghost walk in Fells Point at night, which then led me to believe that maybe we should centralize like a hotel in Baltimore City itself, because I don't know, the light rail on Saturdays doesn't really run till after like midnight unless the Orioles are playing. And so that would make it tough to get back out there without driving. So a good idea actually might be to find a cheap hotel, not like a skanky hotel, but a cheaper hotel, in downtown Baltimore, see how much a bank of rooms would cost depending on how many people we got coming in, and just do that. And then we can still do brunch in the morning. There's a ton of places you can go to brunch on Sunday morning if you wanted to.
Right. And that's the whole idea, by getting some information out there and doing a little bit of groundwork, and just to give people an idea of how much it could possibly cost so they could budget for it. But I want to interrupt that for a second because we got a tweet from Kelly. And he says, I asked that if there is a hotel, take virtual Kelly away from official Pagan by 4 p.m. at the latest. Well, two things. First of all, we will make sure that we take the real Kelly away from the official Pagan by 4 p.m. because we're expecting you to be there. And Kelly, Mike walked around with your picture and that shirt all freaking day long. And the only thing that people did not do, and what they should have done, was they should have been taking pictures of the expressions on people's faces. Why is this guy walking around with a face and a shirt on a hanger? It was hysterical. Or like, and people like, I'd see people, what is the guy over there with the face? What the hell is his deal? And there was like, Mike is walking down and he had the headphones on and he's listening to the thing, and people were actually parting and making way for him because he was holding this thing in front of him all day long. And that is no exaggeration. And I'd love to go back to the Eulogy Bar just to make sure that the Kelly picture is still there in a year.
Exactly. And I also love the fact also that in a historical place like Eastern State Penitentiary, with lots of stuff to take pictures of, lots of cool things to take pictures of, there were a few people saying, let's get a picture of the guy with the face and the shirt. So they would do it secretly. They wouldn't. Sometimes some of them actually went up to him and said, hey, can I get your picture and stuff like that. But I just thought it was hilarious.
It was pretty funny. So again, Kelly, we expect you to be there. So hey, so it sounds like Mr. McDonald is considering it because it's a 10-hour drive for him. So that could be done in a day. Mm-hmm. Because actually, depending on how we plan this out, it might be a 2-night thing where, just drive down on Friday. So we get the whole day on Saturday, and then, have breakfast and say, see you later on Sunday. And if some people want to stay for a little bit more, they could. But it's not that far. I mean, we can't, we had 16 people show up for Philly. So we want to get at least those same 16 people. And if we can get more people to come in, I'm guessing BWI's got to be a little bit easier to get into than Philly, which shouldn't be hard to get to from anywhere, basically. But we'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see.
and as I said, also don't forget the train. Also, I know Shirley came via the train, so that's always a good option. Also, because we have I think it's Penn Station right down there, and once again, right on the light rail. Just hop on the light rail and take wherever you need to go.
Well, I know Amtrak goes right down to BWI. There's a rail station at BWI that Amtrak stops at. So if anybody wanted to take a train, Scotty might be able to take a train. Don't know how much that would cost. I mean, sometimes trains are
more expensive, maybe.
Expensive, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But just a bunch of options, because my first thought about this is exactly what yours was. I want to try to limit the amount of driving for everybody, and also make it more convenient for those people who, haven't been able to make it due to where they live in the United States, to make it slightly easier to get there. And that's when that was where I went running with the idea. But there is a lot of cool stuff down there. And once again, we're looking at around the first couple weekends in June. I think would probably be the best time for everybody. I think, as I said, we're still a year out, and it's always good to start thinking about things now and try to get it, firmed up, so that maybe by the end of the year we have a pretty good idea about what we're doing and where we're going and who we're getting, and then we can start cutting it down and tightening it up a little bit, so that we can get a little bit of a better idea of what's going on. So voila. But yes, Tony, I will get you, I'll give you, I'll write up an email to you sometime and get you all the info that I have, and then we could as I said, down the line, couple weeks, month or so, we can all get a preliminary discussion together with a few people. I think Mandy wouldn't mind coming in here, and maybe some other people as well. So there's that.
Okay. So just to give you an idea, I just Googled that up. Amtrak from Georgia to Baltimore, BWI Thurgood Marshall Airport rail station. On the Crescent, like trains still have names. I didn't know that. $138, and it's 13 hours and 49 minutes, and that's one way on a freaking train. Okay, that's one way. And you have to transfer at Washington. That is awesome. For a reserved coach seat or a flexible ticket, it's $257, and I don't know what a premium seat is, but it's $153. But like I said, trains could be more expensive than an airplane.
Yeah, it sounds like it might be, actually, because I think I've seen outlays like you can go from Atlanta to Baltimore for maybe like $57 or $90 or something like that, depending. So, but it's just, as I said, just an option for anyone who either might not want to fly but still wants to make their way up there. If they don't have a car, don't want to drive, the train is always an option. If you don't want to fly.
And just to see, just for my own curiosity, so from New York Penn Station to Baltimore, we're talking about $110 from NYC, one way. And actually, they do have trains. Actually, wow, because you can get on a Northeast Regional train for $77, and it's a 3-hour trip. Because those are those Acellas that just go whoosh. Yeah. So from New York, it's not bad when you're thinking about, because I know like it could be like a $99 flight if you can find one, but from New York Penn Station, 3-hour train ride, and it's $77 each way, so $150. That's not so bad. So Scotty's driving. So Scotty is driving. He's not flying or taking a train, but he and Pam will be driving. So now we just got to figure out where he's going to put the little guy.
And once again, buddy, if you want to, if you want to come up on Friday, drive on Friday, you guys can spend the night at our house, and we can all just because it'd just be those two. If you wanted to, just offering out there. But as I said, there are hotels all over the place downtown, near us, stuff like that. So it's up to you, whatever you want to do. Our main goal is we want to, as Tony says, we want to try to get double what we had at Snark Stock this past year. So that means we need at least another 16 people to come. If the 16 who were there for Snark Stock 2015 come as well, we need another 16. Yeah. And there are a bunch of people that we absolutely want to see come up here. We wish everybody would come, but we at least want to try to get double that. And I think if we got at least 32, we could probably get some good deals and hotel rooms and stuff like that, restaurants, stuff like that. We could probably find some good deals around here.
And we know there's certain people that might want to share a room, and they could save money there. I'm not going to mention any names, Mike and Kelly. Hey, what happens in Baltimore stays in Baltimore is what I've heard,
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's going to wrap it up. So the next time we get together, we may have a new topic. We may not. Maybe we'll talk more about the next Snark Stock. We will definitely be talking about the Shark Week that Sci-Fi is going to have 2 weeks from Saturday. Is going to be 2 movies, a 7 and a 9 o'clock movie that we talked about earlier, The Dead 2, which takes place in India, and Gala Walker, which sounds like a Victorian era Old West, maybe zombie movie, almost like Cowboys versus Aliens. This sounds like a gunslinger versus zombies, so that could be kind of interesting. Saturday, the 20th. Is there anything to watch on TV Saturday? What is happening this Saturday besides it being somebody's birthday?
I don't think anything is. So, hey, party at my place.
Okay. Do we get to sleep over?
If you want to, absolutely. You might have to share with the kids, but
okay. Well,
maybe not. I don't know. Maybe not.
we should have the SnarkAlec 16 there. Yeah, there's Sci-Fi is premiering a movie, but it's I can't even remember. I looked and was like, yeah, I remember that. Let me take a look at that real quick, just so we know. So if anybody has any ideas of anything that we could watch on Saturday, even if it happens to be something on YouTube, then that would be great, because it is, yes, Jumper. It's a young man discovers he has the ability to teleport himself.
Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
Now, you know what else, Tony? I have to look at this also. I just discovered we have HBO and Cinemax free preview this weekend. So we can maybe check and see what's on HBO and Cinemax. Maybe they'll have something like we did with John Carter from Mars at one time. And
well, if there's a free preview on HBO, because I definitely have HBO all the time.
I haven't even checked yet to see what's coming up, but that might be something interesting to look into too. I think I might check that out.
Thing that sucks about HBO is they tend to put on their movies at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Which kind of stinks, but let's see. I am on their website,
but the good news is they have like HBO West and other stuff as well. They got a couple of options, and then there's Cinemax also, which is usually got the worst movies anyway.
Let's see. How do I change the time on this? Because it's showing me. Okay, so is there a scroll bar here at the bottom? There is not. Oh, this really stinks. Come on. They're really pissing me off. Okay, so it's showing me I have the 20th selected, and it's showing me 12 a.m. to 2:30. Uh, schedule. Okay. So, what happens if I do this? Come on. It's not cooperating.
It's fine. We'll do some research and we'll see if anything. And then Scott McDonald has an idea. It's his fallback. Let's watch Jaws.
uh, yeah, I mean,
it's awesome. I wish this was happening on a weekend, but it's not. But next Tuesday, the 24th or 20, whatever that is, Tuesday or Wednesday, they're going to be showing Jaws on the big screen in Towson, which is not that far from here. They're doing that for a couple things. For the 40th anniversary, they're releasing it in the big screen just for one night or something like that. Like I don't know, 150 theaters or something like that. So
okay, so how far is Towson from Baltimore?
Oh, it's like 20 minutes.
Okay, no, because I've stayed there before.
Yeah, I mean it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. It's pretty easy to get to. It might even be faster if you go the highways. I usually take the back route because it's, I prefer, because I grew up in that area, so I know the different ways to get there. But yeah, I know Towson's a good area also. But as I said, I've got lots of ideas, and I'll let Tony know, and we'll run some stuff up.
Yeah, we'll throw some ideas, and maybe I'll put something up on the website where people can put their ideas in. But I mean, for the most part, unless somebody can come up with a better idea than Baltimore, because like I said, it's a little bit further south, it's a little bit more central, it should be easy to get to. And I don't know if people are noticing the progression, but we started out in North Jersey. We moved further south to Philly. Okay, so now we're moving further south again to Baltimore. That doesn't mean eventually we're going to get down to Florida. It just means that we are moving it, and with a year's worth of lead time, people should be able to plan, and we should be able to get some kind of idea as to what costs are going to be like. I mean, we tried to keep this last one down, and believe me, I mean, in a couple of months, okay, we're talking about my daughter's going to college and stuff, and I'm probably going to have to get like a second and third job, unless I start making money off the SNEWS, but who's going to pay for this shit? But seriously, with a year's worth of lead time, we should be able to get something accomplished, and we'll work it from there. So with that,
alrighty.
With that, I will say thank you, Dylan. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you, sir. And we will correspond.
And if anything changes, we'll put stuff up on the website and we'll let you know. But the 9th, right, was the day that we said.
July 9th, yeah.
July 9th. And so that will be the next news.
Guru, come up with something.
Yes, the topic, the previously unnamed topics guru. You're up for new topics before the next show. And with that, I'll say good night.
Good night.
And thanks, Dylan. Good night, everybody.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday, Dylan. Okay, and if I could just pull this window up and I can